all food had to be cooked on fires. This is how the story starts. In the bakery owned by Thomas Fariner. This is over by 356 years ago. It all began in London in the year 1666 on the 2nd of September. London is the country's capital city. The bakery was on Pudding Lane where Thomas Fariner lived with his family. Electricity and gas central heating hadn't been invented yet, so Thomas Fariner used fire for lighting, heating and of course baking. When Thomas Fariner's family went to bed, they will have to blow out the candles. Electric lighting that we have today is easier to turn on and off, and it is safer. Electric ovens that we have today are all safe and reliable. While Thomas Fariner and his family slept, a spark must have jumped out the oven. The fire spread across the kitchen before anyone woke up. All of the houses of London were close together. It was good for escaping, but it also helped the fire spread. The houses were made out of dry wood and thatched roofs. The fire gobbled up one house and moved quickly to the next house. Thomas Fariner and his family escaped out the window. They climbed onto the neighbour's roof. Everybody made it out okay, except for the baker's maid who died. People in London were trying to get the fire out. They used water squirters and buckets of water, but it wasn't working. They had to find and wake up the mayor, who was called Thomas Bloodworth. They had to tell him about the fire and ask for some advice. Back then there was no telephone and no fire brigade. They needed the Lord Mayor's permission to use fire hooks. The people wanted to use fire hooks to pull down the houses in the path of the fire. If they did that, the fire would run out of things to burn and eventually fizzle out. The Lord Mayor said no to fire hooks. He thought that the houses will be too expensive to rebuild and people will be homeless. With nothing to stop it, the fire raged on and on. The wooden houses were fueled to the fire. It was a hot summer in London, so the houses were dry and burnt easily. London folk used horse and cart to carry crying children and furniture. News of the fire spread to Samuel Pepys. He works for King Charles II. Samuel Pepys was a man who wrote in his diary every day. He wrote with a feather in ink. It's very different to pens today. Samuel Pepys got in his rowboat and went to go see the fire. He went to go warn the king, so rode to his palace. The king was there with his dog. The king said to command the Lord Mayor to use fire hooks. Sadly, the fire hooks didn't stop the fire. Samuel Pepys was worried that his cheese and wine would get burned. He took them to his back garden and buried them before he left London. Lots of people were escaping the fire by rowboat. They were carrying their furniture and belongings. Everyone was really worried because the fire was burning lots of houses, 87 churches, and even St. Paul's Cathedral. Suddenly, the wind changed direction and so did the fire. The people of London blew up their houses with gunpowder. This created a fire break and helped stop the fire. The fire burned for a grand total of 4 days. So many houses were destroyed, the king ordered them to be rebuilt. This time the houses would be made out of stone and brick so they wouldn't catch fire.